The government of Grenada is continuing its key reforms with the regularization of Imani trainees. On the latest episode of DMs with PM, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell explained the ongoing regularization process. Noting the complexity of worker categories in the public service, he explained the government's progress thus far.
So you are aware that we increased the minimum wage to make sure that even the trainees who are styled as trainees or Imanis receive the $1,200 per month. We have introduced the pension scheme to make sure that non-established or off and contract force service workers can now have a pension. We have paid the retroactive pension and reinstated the pensions for established workers.
He said the government is determining how to move Imanis beyond trainee status in the private and public sectors.
So in the private sector, the approach has been that you have to hire them. If you no longer wish to hire them, then obviously fine, we'll have to work out how we transition them out, but we can't supply cheap labor for the private sector. Within the government sector, the approach is we will interview and verify that the persons are qualified, that they can do the jobs, and the aim is ultimately to get them into what I would call non-established mainstream government employees who will have the similar benefits as persons who were previously on contract offer for service.
The Prime Minister stated that there may be a gradual reduction of Imani trainees in cases where they are unable to perform the duties of full-fledged members of staff. However, he noted that the government's attempts to transition the trainees may also result in a surplus of labor.
It may invariably get to a point where there is some attrition, because unfortunately, you can't train for 4 and 5 years. There's no such job in the world that requires you to train for 4 and 5 years. So there has to be a point where you're a genuine employee, where you're productive, where you come to work on time, you do what is required, and you're treated as an employee. If that results in a net surplus where you have to find employment or retrain, we'll endeavor to do so.
Okay. According to the government's 2025 budget statement, the regularization of Imani trainees and workers with contracts for service is Phase 3 of its public sector regularization initiative. Phase 1 addresses the status of established public officers, and Phase 2 speaks to those with Government and Public Service Commission contracts, including teachers. Reporting for GBN News, I am trainee reporter Deidre Seeley.